Welcome back to The Current, where we go over current events, anything that's in pop culture, that kind of stuff.
Pretty much what the name says.
Yeah,
Current.
it's The Current. And today we're a little more cramped in because we got someone else in there with us. Johnny?
It's a cozy table, Kevin.
Just keep your distance.
Dying inside.
Don't make sure we don't touch.
Just sometime when he's talking, just slide your hand down his leg.
Let's not do that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah. All right. And today we're going to talk about the Canada truck protests. The truckers up in Canada.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to explain a little bit because I haven't followed it a ton. I just know there's truckers and there's a protest. That's it.
Yep.
Yes. They are protesting the mandate to be vaccinated. So you have to be vaccinated to go into Canada, and that's what they're protesting. Basically, it's that simple.
I think it started off as Trudeau, the prime minister, made a mandate that if you're going to be a truck driver, I think entering and exiting sort of thing, you had to be but this turned into this big, just basically screw your policies, anything and everything with COVID. We're going to protest it all at the same time. And Ottawa's been on basically trucker lockdown for 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been
like a long time
and it
now.
doesn't show any signs of weakening, and now there's talk of doing it in the U.S. and different, especially some port
the
cities.
bridge between, is it Detroit?
It's Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah,
Detroit.
the bridge just got cleared up.
Okay.
So that's back open again, but Ottawa is totally surrounded still.
Yeah.
So there's just truckers that.
Oh, it's more than truckers now. It's like.
They've got.
But like, what are they
of
doing?
people.
They're saying like we're not going to deliver stuff, or we're like.
Yeah,
Well-
and we're going to block stuff coming in and just, basically built a barricade.
So they've just blocked the roads, basically. Like you're not getting any supplies.
And there's all sorts of like partying and loud noise.
Oh,
and
jeez.
Honking the horns like crazy.
I saw this video like that.
It's like
I guess
trucker
it's
sturgis.
illegal to like honk your horn after a certain time. And so they're like, not illegal to play tubas. And so there's people walking around with tubas just, like. I don't know.
So I have
really
a
funny.
spin on this that it seems to me, just you guys know, I am not for the government mandating that we vaccinate ourselves for anything, and I'm kind of like the less government, the better. It's kind of where I stand.
Yep.
However, I also believe in principles, and as much as most people that probably believe like me, they think this is a great thing, I do not. I do not think this is a good thing. I don't see this any different than Black Lives Matter protests blocking freeways. I think that I'm all for protests as long as they're peaceful, but I am not for your protest upsetting other people's lives. Now, here's what I wish the truckers would have done. I wish they'd have kept their trucks at home and said, we're not driving. We're not hauling. That's your right to say, I am going to protest this. I am not hauling your stuff. Now they can do that. It's not breaking the law. It's not upsetting other people's things. It's their job. Except I'm going to go to work or not. But even though I agree with their point, I totally disagree in blocking public roads for any reason at all.
You can be totally right and totally wrong at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I don't see. Some people, hey, listen, if you're against Black Lives Matter blocking a freeway, then you should be against a trucker blocking a freeway. It doesn't matter.
Situational ethics?
Yeah. And I mean, this seems so clear to me, okay? And I just really have a bit. I love what they're doing, and I hate what they're doing at the same time.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
I've seen
you
videos.
guys, you have no reason. Who do you think you are to block commerce and people's... I'm going to work, and you're blocking the road. I don't get it.
There's families and, police officers and little kids like stuck in Ottawa that aren't able to go to school, aren't able to get the goods they need because of this.
And think about like healthcare workers, ambulances trying to get through to help people.
Yes.
Fire trucks trying to get through to stop fires.
This seems black and white to me. It just seems so clear.
Well, we said the same thing. What was it? May, June of 2020, where we're like, they're all blocking 35. Take them to prison. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
Why would this be different?
Why would this be any different?
Right, right. And I've seen a lot of videos where they've been talking about the U.S. starting this same type of protest. And I've seen multiple users on TikTok talking, hey, they're going to be ready for you. They're going to be waiting for you. Park your truck. You want to protest this? Park your truck. Don't deliver anything.
I would be for that.
And then that would shut everything down. They'll react quicker to that than
They're
the
ready
public
to arrest
disturbance.
you when you show up to them, but not if we all stay home.
Yeah, you all stay home. They can't do anything.
Well,
what do you do?
What are you expecting to happen, though, as Canada, people who deliver your supplies, if you're requiring them, like, what happens if everybody says I'm parking my truck and I'm staying home? Like, that's going to backfire pretty quick, isn't it? I don't know. I feel.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's where we have a right, at least in the U.S., we have a right to peacefully protest and make our point, to try and cause a shift, try to cause a people to rethink laws and things like that. And I think the truckers are in a good position to do that because the world revolves on wheels, man. Everything comes on a truck.
Yep.
Everything. So they could make a good point. And I wish they would. I really do. Hey, come on. You're mandating that I get a certain medicine to protect myself. That's like making you wear a helmet. You know, I mean, I think that's ridiculous, but it's their right. I just do not agree with how they're protesting. Totally disagree with how. I wish they would park their truck and say, I'm not delivering, or at least I'm not delivering across the border. If you keep this mandate, I'm not going to do it.
I think to just play devil's advocate side, I think there's this idea of like everybody coming together and kind of having this look and feel of like the multitude of numbers. So like, how do you, I mean, I know it would, the trickle down effect of everybody just parking their trucks, but I think people would miss out on some of that. We're in this togetherness from it, which I think is maybe some of the aspect of Black Lives Matter and all sorts of other movements that have happened. So what do you, I mean, I think we all know why they did it. We're going to make our voice heard, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure they would feel the same way.
Hey, I'm on their cause, but when it's our cause, we almost justify anything we want. And hey, listen, isn't that the problem with, we don't all have the same causes. So I just don't see any way, shape, or form. I get the power in numbers. Stand on the side of the street, okay? Do not.
Sure.
I just totally disagree with who do you think you are that you are going to stop a public road. I don't care what your stance is. Good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. Now, now you're doing something wrong. How can you justify your right when you're doing something wrong?
Is
It makes
there
no sense.
ever a point to do that?
No.
No matter what the government's doing. Say they're just going into every house and the firstborn male, we're going to take him out on the street and just shoot him.
Well, then run for your life or shoot back. But I don't.
But still don't block a public street.
As long as you're not blocking the road.
Sure that is.
Hey, as long as you're not shooting first, I agree in self-defense. But here's the point. Here is the point. If we give everybody permission to break the law and stop commerce for whatever their cause is, we just have anarchy. We have disaster everywhere. So everybody thinks their cause is right. Of course they do. But no, we can't have that going on. Make your point. And I think this is where we miss it, especially those of us, and I'm going to include myself, with lean more to the right. I think that we keep saying, I see all of these things where these truckers are being praised and at least they got guts to do. I think by the time it gets to that point, you've already lost. It's almost too late. We, especially in America, but Canada too, our fight needs to be in the polls. Our fight needs to be by changing laws, not by, and I know I'm a gun owner and I would support owning guns. But so many of my friends are, well, they're going to come and take this gun out of my cold, dead hand. Well, then that's what they're going to do. It's too late. You've lost the battle when you're going to shoot people coming to get your gun. You've lost, and you will lose because they have missiles from 60 miles away that can blow your house right out of the water. Okay, that is not where we take our stand. It's got to be way before that.
So what would you say then? Because this is I can tend to lean this way. You say you make your fight at the polls. I don't think my vote matters.
Well,
especially after this last election cycle. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I just have some legitimate concerns as to whether my vote even counts.
You should hop on board. Conspiracies are fun.
What's the difference? You ever see those memes like, what's the difference between a conspiracy theorist and somebody telling the truth? 6 months.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
It's really funny.
Yeah, it's I agree that there's doubt now from the last election, but I really think that there's enough conservatives, if we're going to use that word, I think enough traditional American values left in America that if we wouldn't let the media and other things control our lives or scare us, we could affect enough people that you can't throw an election when it's 1% not agree. We could turn people's minds by just being vocal and talking to our friends and neighbors at the bar, at the restaurant, being more vocal about rational common sense and principles like we're talking about today. Of I don't care what your cause is. No, we can't do that. And I think there'd be so many that, yes, you can flip an election if it's close. I still don't think you can flip an election if it's not close. I just don't think it's there. And even us choosing the right candidates, come on, get involved. We want to fight when it's at our doorstep. Hey, we can fight way before that, but we don't. That is our fault. We don't do much fighting before that.
Well, I think the mindset has gotten to like what you said, where people don't think fighting before is doing anything. They don't think it matters. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, you can say that it's wrong. You can say don't block the road, don't do this. But I think if you talk to any of them, their mindset would be, well, I don't trust the voting system. I don't trust this. I don't trust that. Now I'm just taking it in my own hands. Not that it's right, but just kind of the wheels that are turning in the head. That I would assume that's
my
what's
vote
happening.
don't matter. My voice don't matter.
Yeah.
So,
but it does, because we see it working on the other side. We see 10% of the population controlling 90% of what we think and do. Come on, we could flip that. Of course we could. We're too busy working. I'm sorry, did I say that?
so you're saying the squeaky wheel does get the grease?
We could definitely cause a change, and it doesn't have to be. Now, I'm not saying that maybe someday we have to take up arms against our own government. I'm not saying that, but I know this: we're not there yet. We're not there. So let's make our voices heard. Let's influence the people around us. I think a little logic and a little common sense goes a long ways. But if logic and common sense doesn't say anything, people just believe what they hear. They...
If we just stay quiet for fear of being canceled or having some opposing idea. Where would you say, from a Christian perspective, we're all Christians, where would you say this truck protest or back with masks and stuff like that, like where would you say the line is, or any of us, from voice, vote to now I have to do something?
Yeah.
And not like the other two aren't do something, but now I have to take a more drastic measure.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm still not going to park in the street because obviously that's like the final line you never cross.
Obviously, that upsets Kevin, so let's do not park in the street.
But where do you cross?
I think the line would be sin, wouldn't it? I
don't know.
mean, why anything short of sin isn't probably illegal. So
There's a lot of sins that aren't illegal.
yeah. See what I mean? That line is lower.
Yeah, but we've talked. I mean, we've talked about this before. There's a clear difference between modern day society and the way things should spiritually and biblically be done. So if you're talking about a Christian perspective, I mean, you'd technically be right. I know you say get involved, vote, but outside of that, there's really nothing we can do unless we're being asked to blatantly sin, right?
I don't know.
Or am I understanding that wrong?
Well, I agree with Dave and where you guys are going, but I think it has to be a step past just sin. I think it has to be the government telling us we must sin or face the consequences. Then we have to face the consequences. Even the abortion law, that we have a law here, you can get an abortion if you want to. Well, as Christians, we're not going to get an abortion, but living in a free nation, we have to allow people to make that choice. Now, if the government says you have to abort your third pregnancy, well, now we have to say, I'm sorry, I'm not following the government, throw me in jail. So do you see the difference?
Yeah. And that's what I meant. The line was once the government starts asking, now when the government mandated masks, that's not a sin. I hate it. I don't think it works. I don't think it's right. But they're not asking me to sin. So,
so I'm gonna play devil's advocate again because that's a fun role. What if I really believe this getting a vaccine or whatever? This is just the hot topic of the moment. What if I really believe that violates my conscience? And not only just me, I think the most loving thing I can do for other people is prevent a tyrannical government from imposing their will on people. I mean, like, where do you, the argument I've heard from the other side of people is like, well, they're loading them onto trains to send them to camps. Like, there's nothing inherently sinful about putting people on a train, but like, well, where is that line then? You know? If I really believe in my heart, no, this is over every time, governmental powers throughout history have gotten out of control. People end up hurt. Sin clearly happens.
Okay, in those historical examples, they didn't have a democracy where they could vote. And so there's a difference there. I'm still holding on to this is the United States, and we still do. And thank God we still have this religious, you don't have to take the shot or the potion, however you want to say it. If you say, hey, for religious reasons, I don't want to. And there's still room there, okay? And there's debate over that. And
man, not a lot of room,
We see some cases actually flipping and winning. And so I still think that in America today, it could be different. But right now, and you're asking when does it switch? I don't know. However, we still can fight legally. We can still, I think it's huge now that we got midterm elections coming up next year. And, we should be more politically involved. This is what runs our nation. But we're not politically involved as a whole. We're just good at complaining when it's not. Yeah, Christians. And we're just good at complaining that this ain't godly. But the Christian point of view also is we expect everybody to be Christian. And we make a huge mistake there too. We live in a free nation where we are allowed to be Christian. Praise God. Doesn't mean we should use that freedom to make other people Christians by law. That's it's freedom.
Shouldn't expect it. Should strive for it.
But not legally.
Not by law.
Not by law.
Not by government.
Not by law. Yeah.
And if you really want to know, he asked the question, as Christians, what should we do? We should be building the Church of Jesus Christ. Now, there is an idea.
Let's do that.
How many Christians are building the Church of Jesus Christ?
Not the majority.
We're just enjoying the shade of the generations before us. And if every Christian in America got involved in a local church to give, support, and serve, America would be a different place, hands down. Okay, so if you want to say where's the problem, right there.
So guys, just wait, just watch this. Are you ready to see fireworks?
I got one.
Are you ready?
Go
okay.
Ahead. Go ahead.
Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
You sure?
If it's piggybacking off of what he's saying, go for it.
Okay. What would you say to people who say Christianity and politics shouldn't mix?
Where did they come up with that asinine idea? What do you mean it should? My values in my nation and my neighborhood should.
Well, I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying there's this movement out there, really, in Christianity that we shouldn't intermix our faith and our politics, and that when you do, bad things happen, and that's their argument.
I would say this: we shouldn't use our politics to mandate or force our religion. I would agree with that. However, if our values, politics is just values, and why we wouldn't bring our values into our home, into our school,
into the
polls, it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't reverse that and use our values to mandate political stances or controlling people.
So, as an American, not the Christian side, you're saying it starts and stops with voting, affecting change.
Even before voting. But yes, our system today is done by voting. We all knew when the last presidential election and Congress and Senate, all that stuff, we all knew that it would change the direction we're going. How did we know that? We all knew that.
Yeah.
Because there are two different ways of thinking. There are two different plans for America, and one is more conservative and like American values from historical American values, and one is we want
Very
to change
progressive.
America and what made it great and all that stuff. And so, we knew that, so, and who we put. And another thing, we always think the president's like the most important election. The president is
close.
almost a puppet. I mean, literally. It's Congress.
Today,
It's
literally.
yeah. There's so much that we should, especially in local governments and state governments. That we should definitely.
State is way more important than
Yes,
national.
it is.
Oh
Holy
yeah, it
cow.
affects your life
Yeah.
as a
There's a lot of
citizen
power
of that
within a
state.
state, too.
Yeah.
Well, only
Well,
if
that's
you
his
believe the
point.
Constitution.
Yeah. Only if you believe in the Constitution.
I mean, otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it starts and stops with voting, or before you said, as a Christian, it's growing the kingdom of God
Yep.
as much as you possibly can.
Yes.
But what if we just all did what feels good for us? We believed in our truth. Does that work?
Yeah.
No.
That's a trigger.
No.
I thought you said it was going to make Kevin's brain explode. You use my trigger words. My truth.
My truth.
What is my truth is like an oxymoron. That does not exist. My truth. It's either truth or it's not. It's not true for me and not true for you. No, it's either true or it's not.
Right.
Jeez.
Hey, there are
I
some
can either
things.
block the road or I can't.
There are some things in culture, in where we work and where we do business and commerce and just our lives, where we honestly should just not even give people the time of day. Some thoughts are so out there, they're not even worth responding to.
Did you haven't seen it. I only saw it on TikTok, but maybe you guys did. I don't know where it was some convention or something, but this lady talks about how eating meat is racist, misogynist, white privilege. I mean, just all the cultural trigger words. Somehow, if you eat meat, she talked about, well, that you didn't ask that animal if it wanted to be eaten and like all this stuff. And
Was that the DSC?
Okay.
The Democratic
yes.
Socialist Convention?
No,
thing?
it was not. Well, maybe it was a new version, but not the one that's like all over. This was some recent clip I've seen like 4 or 5 times now where she literally says somehow eating meat is racist.
Those are the same people that say you need your baby's consent to change their diaper. And I'm sorry, but if I get my child's consent for everything that I do for them, they're going to be dead
No, wait
within
a
a
minute.
week.
Those are the
So-
same people that would say your child don't have a right to live or die. What do you mean? We're going to ask our kids this, but we're not going to ask them if we're going to take their life.
Well, didn't
These
you-
people are
I
ridiculous.
saw another video on TikTok where it showed like I don't know, it was like 4 feet long and all glittery. It was supposed to be called like the birth canal. And they had like a baby like on this side, no rights. Rights. No rights. Right. And like, I don't know where the line is in between here, but you know,
Some
just
magic happens in
somewhere
that birth
along
canal.
this journey.
somewhere along this
They gained their
road.
rights.
Yeah. I mean, it's
No
insane.
rights.
How do you feel about that? Eating the animals you harvest
Is
is
racist.
racist, and we've already been told
and sexist.
that you borderline on slave owning. So you might
Yeah,
want to
from
refrain
years ago.
from eating any animals that you harvest.
Would this be one of those?
My relatives, my great grandfather and his brothers, 2 of them died freeing the slaves. Don't they owe me something? I lost family members freeing slaves.
I'm not going to touch that one. I ain't touching that one. Oh.
This stuff is just so ridiculous. Okay, I think airplanes are racist.
Yeah.
Airplanes
Well,
are racist.
Most of them are white.
Yeah.
If that's your
That is
truth,
true.
then you're correct.
Okay, walking. Have you ever seen a Homosapien walk? Human beings walk. It is racist walking. It should be outlawed that we walk. We're making fun of animals because they walk. 99% of animals walk.
So
on
you
4.
did watch that TikTok video.
No, I'm making crap up, okay? It's how ridiculous this stuff is. We shouldn't even listen to it or give it the time of day. Come on. It's you get this type of thinking of just creating things out of nowhere is not reality, and we shouldn't go down this road, and we just need to ignore people that are going to be that out there. Come on.
How do you then, back from a Christian perspective, try and tie this thing always to Christianity, not just now 4 guys BSing.
TM.
How do you love people with ideas and concepts and like, I think this is up and they say it's 47? You know, like, how can you possibly, like, how do you show love in those situations?
Yeah, I think a great
For any of us.
definition of love. I'm sorry, but
No.
is to accurately estimate and adequately supply another person's need. If you see somebody on a 12-story building, and their reality is that they're going to float to the ground, love would say,
Tackle them.
You're wrong. I don't know where your reality came from, but it's not true. I am not going to play along with this because I love you. I am going to rescue you from your thinking that will destroy your life, and it's ridiculous. That would be the loving thing to do, and not let them walk off.
Wasn't this episode supposed to be about love?
yeah.
Now that you're
That's
just
true.
saying it, like, dang it, we missed it again.
You're the
screwed it
one who
up.
asked.
Sorry.
I know.
I showed up. Well, would you say that truckers are doing the loving thing then?
I think their
Yeah,
idea
could this
is
be
good.
loving?
No, it's breaking the law
No,
when it
because
doesn't
they're
need to
blocking
be.
streets. Blocking streets
No.
is not
No.
love.
That's not love.
They are breaking
Ah, shoot.
peaceful laws, and they say it's a peaceful protest. No.
Cannon. We got to wrap this up.
Oh,
But you got, okay, 10 seconds, everybody around the table. Go.
10 seconds.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, to the truckers, no.
Get off the road.
Protest, do all your thing, but don't break laws and hurt people's lives. Do it peacefully. It's not peaceful when you're causing this kind of thing. It's not. So don't do it.
Okay.
I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see the breaking the law thing, but we all break laws. Honestly, I mean we do.
So it's okay then?
So it's scary. It's warranted. No.
What a
no.
great way to wrap that
Oh,
up.
you were so serious there for a minute. I was like,
Oh, okay. Well,
So
no,
I
he
didn't
said-
even
no.
influence you guys.
No, I
you
don't
do.
think it's
Kevin,
it's
every
right
time-
that they're breaking the law.
Every time you talk, I question everything in my life and existence and get confused. So
Am I a man thinking I'm a butterfly, or am I a butterfly thinking I'm a man?
well, on that note, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming to the current.
Live
Hope
your
you're as
truth,
confused as we are. Yeah. Again. We'll see you next
Just say
week.
live your
Oh boy, oh boy. The
I'm
truth
out.
is we'll be next
yeah, I'm
week.
done.
And that's our truth.